Thank you for everybody for attending. And thanks to both of our candidates here for their willingness to serve the community. Thanks also to the nominating committee, Becky and Judy. We met at one time and we had a good meeting, and we got 48 questions initially from the community. We used AI to consolidate them, so that was really good. Thank you, David, my technology guru. And then we got it down to about 10 questions. So what we're going to do first is to let the nominees introduce themselves, and then we'll get started. So why don't you go ahead?
Hey.
Or you want? Yeah, go ahead.
My name is Dennis Henson. We moved in here April 16th, 2025. I'm a retired correctional officer for San Joaquin County Sheriff's Department, which is in California. I retired about 12 years ago, and after that, did kind of odds and ends to stay out of my wife's hair. We had a business, actually two businesses. Still have one of them. We absolutely love it here. We love it here. We planned a future here. We planned a future for our children here. We bought a lot here so they could build the next couple of years. So we're planted in the community. We want to see the community thrive. We're going to be in a pivotal situation right now. We have a lot of things that are going on. And I think from my business background, having to pay bills and pay people and keep all the lights on, I think it will help getting us to that next step. I know we have to do things here with the clubhouse. We have to do a new boat ramp. Pickleball court needs to be fixed. So we have a lot coming on in the next couple of years. And I believe working with Bonnie, Chad, Mike, BJ alike, we can make the transition a little bit easier, smoother to get these things done, and without creating too much backlash from people. I know we're not going to make everybody happy, but we're going to try to make the majority of the people happy. I'm a majority person. I don't have any wants other than to make everybody get along, to make sure that our amenities are kept up. That is probably the most important thing for the board, is to make sure the amenities are kept up. Yes, our safety is another one, but we have to keep our amenities going. And unfortunately, I think we all know that the boat dock's going to be a lot of money. So time's overstep. Thank you very much. Summer.
Thanks, Dennis. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I'm Summer Joe. When Dustin and I, my other half, moved into the area, and we were looking for a place to call home. That's what we were looking for, was a home. We weren't looking for a house. We were looking for a community that thought about the environment. We were thinking about what we were going to be living in 5 and 10 years down the future. We were thinking about where our grandkids were going to play and the environment we were going to be leaving for them. That's why we chose Oyster Harbor. With my experience, I have worked on numerous community enrichment programs throughout North Carolina. I've been involved in political action committees here. I've done all kinds of work at my children's PTA meetings or PTA boards, even was cheer booster president. Just saying, that was a tough gig, guys. I know how to bring totally different people together for one common goal. Our goal is safety, our environment and stewardship, and physical responsibility moving forward. It isn't about just what's happening here today. It's about what's in the future. That's why I run it.
Okay, thank you, Summer. Okay, we've got some ground rules, first of all. So each candidate will have up to 3 minutes to answer each question. They will answer the same question in the same order. Candidates should address the audience rather than each other, so no fighting. Please refrain from applause, interruptions, or commentary during the responses. Like I said, they'll answer 3 minutes. So question 1, I'll start with you, Summer Joe. Why are you running for the board, and what experience, skills, and perspective will you bring to benefit Oyster Harbor?
I really feel like we just kind of answered that question with the first 3 minutes. However, I also am a small business, or was a small business owner for a great portion of my life. Currently, I work for General Motors, a multi-billion-dollar industry. I understand what it's like to not only manage people and help grow perspectives in smaller groups, but also the bigger picture overall.
Okay, why are you running for the board, and what experience, skills, and perspective will you bring to benefit Oyster Harbor?
Running for the board because I like to be active in the community. I like to meet people, like to bring people together. Another thing is, like I said, my daughter's going to build in here. We're going to have grandkids that are going to live in here. 20 years down the road, some of us may not be here, but they're going to be here. So what we do now is going to affect them just like what 20 years ago is affecting us now. And so that's why I'm running.
Okay, we'll move on to question 2. What are your top 3 priorities for Oyster Harbor over the next 3 years, and how would you measure success? We'll start with you, Sandra.
Okay. The top 3, I'm sorry.
Top 3 priorities for
Priorities.
Oyster
I'm sorry.
over the next 3 years, and how would you measure your success?
So the
Our success.
top 3 priorities. I believe everyone keeps talking about all these improvements that we need to make and the renovations that need to be made. I think as a community, we have to narrow down what those are specifically, how they're going to impact the future of our community, whether they're going to increase our property values or whether that was even taken in consideration. Our amenities are super important aspect of why we chose to move here. Environment, making sure that we're preserving our environment in this community. I'm not talking about just the deer situation. I'm talking about the trees. I'm talking about all of the nature that we surround ourselves with here every day. And number 3 would have to be community involvement and getting to know everybody in a better manner. I do work full-time. That is valid. So my weekends, I'm trying my best to get out and be more involved and get to know more of my neighbors.
Okay, thank you.
Top 3 priorities is, one is the boat ramp, because that's the biggest. Without the boat ramp, if you were to take it out today, our homes value would drop. It would probably drop 10%. That one we need right out of the gate. That's one we're working on the hardest now. The other one is planning for the future. Because of our boat docks and our amenities, we have to look at 20 years down the road, and we have to start now for that. We have to plan to have a reserve to where we're not, oh crap, we got to get the boat ramp done again and we don't have the money to do it. So we need to have a cushion for that. Third is community support. We need people to help. Tom Janke, Scott, Reed, there's quite a few of us that go out there, but we do need extra hands to work. We need more people to be involved to help fix things, do things, so we're not paying for things out of our dues.
Yeah, okay, great, thanks. Okay, so we'll move on to the next question, number 3. How will you balance controlling HOA expenses, maintaining adequate reserves, and funding future capital projects? I'll start with you.
Okay. We have to be careful on what we spend our money on, obviously. If we're frivolously putting things up and wasting the money, once it's spent, we can't get it back. There's some projects that Tom and I were asked to do. It wasn't going to benefit all the community. We have to, unfortunately, we have to raise the dues. The dues 20 years ago were $370. They stayed that way for 10, 12 years. For 5 years, dues weren't even raised. So now the chickens have come home to the roost and we all have to pay for it. And unfortunately, that means raising the dues. Now, there's going to be a point where we will map out a 20-year budget to know what we have to make or have to have in 20 years from now to pay for our amenities. And our dues can go higher and they can also be lower. But we have to set forth a budget and know what we're going to spend money on and how much we need to save.
Okay, Summer.
I agree. We do have to be very aware. And one of the things that I found very impressive, I sat in on one of the finance committee meetings recently, and I heard the projections of how much money was going to be coming in with the dues the way they are, and then the projected out amounts. I think that's very smart. And I'm very excited to hear that we have a finance committee who is full of well-educated people in that specific section. That's super important. I'm not a finance professional. I would never claim to be, but I have finance professionals in my life and in my industry, and I would reflect and put that back on them and ask for their advice and ask for other community members' advice. We have a lot of amazing residents in our neighborhood where we just have to rely on them to give us that feedback, to give us the correct information so we can make the right decisions.
Great. Okay, question number 4. What is your philosophy on maintaining existing amenities versus investing in new improvements?
Repeat the question, please.
What is your philosophy on maintaining existing amenities versus investing in new improvements?
Well, once we get the existing amenities fixed and up to standard, then we can look at rebuilding the clubhouse. We need a bigger clubhouse. We need more space. But our first priority is maintaining or repairing the amenities that we have, just like the kayak dock. I mean, there was many of us out there that spent 2.5 weeks repairing that. We had a bid of $40,000, and I think we did it for 10. If we can get more help from the community to do things like that, then we will save money so we don't have to raise the dues as high as they are, or we'll have that more money to spend on getting furniture for the pool area or the water park or in here. We really just have to help. We have to help as a community.
Okay, Summer?
I agree with him. We have to focus on the amenities we already have before we think about amenities that are going to be expanding. The boat dock has always been one of the big priorities for a lot of people in this community. And without it, he's right. Our property values would be different, or our HOA dues would be different, one or the other, right? Depending on where you were looking to live. The boat dock was a big reason why Dustin and I chose to live here. We didn't have a boat, but we knew we wanted to get one. So having that boat dock and how convenient it is to run right down the road in our storage lot, grab our boat, and then go hop in the water and go for a night cruise, there's nothing better. But there are some other amenities that I think we do have to take care of. I understand our capacity is 90 people here. And I think one of our board meetings probably might have exceeded that recently. I know that I've heard a lot of concerns about the exercise room being super small at this point with how many community members are using it. That's great. Everybody's getting out and getting active. So we probably have to look at considering to make advancements for that. But the boat ramp and our existing amenities have to be top priority.
Okay. Thank you. We'll move to the next question. Number 5, what specific actions would you take to improve traffic safety, gate security, and unauthorized access to the community amenities? Start with you, Summer Jo.
That's actually a really interesting question. One of my first board meetings that I attended here was about the security of our neighborhood. And I go back to the same thing that I said a couple meetings ago. I would want to see the data and the information from the sheriff's department. I know that you can get public access or records to public information. I actually have done that. I just spoke to someone at the sheriff's department again this morning about maintaining that information and us having access to what is going on inside our community instead of rumors or social media information. The facts are the facts. If there's incident reports being made, we should know as neighbors and residents. But if they're not, then they're not. You know, that's the reality. Rumors are rumors. The facts of what the sheriff's department has is the facts. And I would go from there. Do we need full-time security? I don't know that answer without the data. I know that we had a neighborhood watch group that had been formed, and then I was told there wasn't enough participation. So that goes back to what Dennis is stating. You have to have the community involved. Everyone has to do their part to make our neighborhood a great success.
Do you want me to read the question?
No, I got it. I got that one. As for the gate, we all know that we live in a community with a gate, not a gated community. Anybody can walk around the sides, they can go over the berms, I've told people to leave several times. We have to watch out for each other. I mean, that goes without saying, I would think. As for the gates, it's a nightmare. We get backups. People are coming in the out gate because they don't want to wait. I was talking to Mike and Chad, and I thought we could put up spikes. So it's the one-way spike. You can go, hold on. You can go out the gate, not a problem. But if you come in the wrong way, there's one-way spikes that would keep people from going that way. That's just one option. I'm sure there's more than that. They talked about an arm coming down. It's $25,000 for the arm. Do we want to spend $25,000 to keep people from tailgating? I don't know if that's a fix. I mean, the last board meeting we talked about it. Board meeting before that we talked about it. There was no solid fix for it as of yet. But that doesn't mean we all shouldn't have ideas and bring ideas forward.
Okay. Great. Question number 6, how would you address the deer management issue while respecting the differing opinions within the community? Would you like to take that one first?
Sure. Because we know this is a hot topic. John Henry said that we're not at the peak of having too many deer. He also said that the deer are not sick. They don't have chronic waste disease. The only case is over in Fayetteville. It's not coming close to us. I would follow with majority. Not everybody's going to be happy with the outcome. There's no good outcome. There's people that love the deer, don't want them killed. There's people that hate the deer that want them killed. There is no good outcome for this. Unfortunately, Hewitt Place, they're going to be putting in more homes. There's another clearing that they're doing up on Boone's Neck that's going to bring deer out. John Henry said that a buck will have a 15-mile radius of where he travels. The does, they come in, they go out. They come in, they go out. I don't know if without killing 100 deer a year, I don't think there's an easy fix for it.
Okay.
So I think most everybody probably was here the night that John Henry came, or maybe for that board meeting. I go back to question number 1, how many deer are actually here? Without a population study, it's irresponsible to make any conclusions. There are ways of getting that data and having the facts before our community would have a town hall or vote on what the property owners wanted to do, it would be a majority situation, but there are also some legal responsibilities that we would have as an HOA and for each homeowner who was here inside the neighborhood. So we have to have all of the information, not just part of it. Deer are migratory animals. Just because we did something here now doesn't mean that in 6 months, we're not going to have a whole new group of deer and new deer families joining our property in our area. We live in Oyster Harbor for a reason. The environment's beautiful. We live with a lot of wildlife. We have to learn proper techniques to be proper stewards of this neighborhood.
Okay, great. So, question number 7. How familiar are you with the HOA governing documents? If elected, how will you ensure your decisions are guided by those documents and the best interests of the community rather than your personal preference or favoritism?
So just with any governing body, whether it was PTA or whether it was a political action committee, we all have rules and governing body that we must abide by. That's why we do these jobs. It's not about your political beliefs or your personal beliefs. We have governing documents. And if something in there needs to be changed or addressed, then we do it as a community. Laws change, just like in our regular day-to-day life, whether it's the United States government, whether it's the North Carolina legislators, sometimes things have to be adapted and changed. That's why we have legal teams that advise us.
I've read the bylaws, I've read the CCNRs, and if you guys can't sleep, read them. I'll help you. I've read them twice. There are things that we've done, actually the prior board done, like towing vehicles. Towing vehicles was not legal to do. They cannot tow a resident's vehicle in here because that takes away the process that the state has set up and we have set up for people to argue against. So we give a letter, a warning, then a fine. What we were doing with the towing was we were towing, you were levied a fine of $250 to get your vehicle back. Okay, you had no say. And in the state law, you can only be fined $100 per infraction per day. So at $250 to get your vehicle out, it was not legal. So I brought that forward to the board and they said, you're right, it needs to go. And so they did away with it. Understanding the documents, the legal ease of it, it gives you a step up to protect yourself, to protect your neighbors, and protect our HOA.
Okay, let's go on to the next question, number 8. How will you improve board transparency, communication, and homeowner trust? Start with you, Summer Jo.
I think that's a great question. I think and feel that having simple open door policy of town hall meetings, maybe not always a formal HOA meeting, just people getting together to discuss the topics that are important to the environment or to the community is very important to the health of the environment of the community. I feel that having the information communicated maybe quickly, it would be a positive. I love the Tuesday emails that come out. I think that that was a great addition that has been done in the past year or so now, right? I think that that's a great way of communicating. There's the board out front. That's great. I think that maybe we might need one in the back for those of us who come in and out the back too. Just saying. But getting to know your neighbors and more community involvement is the key to getting that information.
When we first moved in, I met good old Mike Schiavone within the first couple weeks. And that guy was a book of knowledge. Not only did he know a lot, he knew a lot of people. And he did his best to introduce me to as many people as he could. And talking to people, then you get their thoughts on what needs to be fixed, what could be fixed, what we could do better. I think that Chad is a great example. Chad will answer the phone anytime. Now, it's not good for Jen, but it's good for everybody else. And I don't have a problem answering questions. I don't have a problem going to Mike or Chad and answering questions, or Bonnie and asking questions. And I think as a board member, you should make yourself open a little bit towards that. However, there has to be a time and a place. Social events are not the time nor the place. We just want to be, they just want to be like the rest of us. Now, if you see us walking down the road, out in front of the house, playing pickleball, absolutely ask a question. There's just times and places. And sometimes people get overburdened with questions.
Great answer. Okay, we'll move on to question 9. How would you encourage greater homeowner participation in committee involvement? We'll start with you.
Oh, boy. I would say make work fun, but work and fun don't really go together. Like when we did the kayak dock, it was actually fun. We got to know each other out there. John Breeze came out, didn't know him very well, but got to know him. Great guy. Dan, Bill Puglisi, all those guys. We had a good time out there. It was fun to actually have everybody together accomplishing one goal. And if we get more people to do that, to accomplish these goals as we go, I think they would participate more. But we have to, somebody has to put their foot forward first. Just come and see what it's about and join.
How would you encourage that?
I don't know if there is any way to encourage it other than look at the dock. It's beautiful. It came out great. It came out wonderful. Wouldn't you want to be a part of making something like that beautiful? I mean, the storage, the old guard shack, it needs to be painted and cleaned. I mean, how nice would that be if you were driving up and you helped work on it and you saw it every day and said, I did that. I helped do that. I mean, that's nice.
Summer Joe.
So something that comes to my mind particularly is to do a volunteer recruitment fair of sorts and have everyone who is involved in the committee have their own little table. Maybe some of it's inside, maybe some of it's outside, but let people who want to volunteer and be an active part of the community come and see what there is to volunteer for. Let them sign up and get to know the members of those committee people. Not everybody vibes well. You got to find your people, right? You got to find your tribe of where you want to volunteer and what that common thing is, common interest is that you would like to participate with. That would be my idea.
Okay, great. Okay, question 10. If elected, what is the single most important improvement residents should expect during your first year on the board? Summer Joe.
So I would think that would be community engagement and community involvement. Getting to know every resident and everybody taking the responsibility of this neighborhood. It isn't just one person's responsibility to do all the things that we're talking about. Not the safety isn't just one person's responsibility. You know, keeping up with all of the beautiful facilities shouldn't be one person. We all have to be encouraged and participate together. So community involvement overall would be my biggest goal.
Great. What about you, Dennis?
I'll second that. And I'll also add, we have to let the community know more of what's going on behind the scenes. Not that you don't, not that the board we have now doesn't. The board prior was a little bit more tight knit. This board is a little bit more open. Mike, George, Chad, yourself. I mean, you guys answer any questions, you can be readily found. In the first year, I would like to say that I would like to put together, like I said, a 20-year plan of this is where we're going. This is where we need to be in 20 years. And just get as much voices in to help accomplish that.
Okay. Any closing statements for either of you?
You go first.
Oh, gee, thanks. Gee.
Ladies first.
Oh. never
Chivalry's not
said
dead. Chivalry's not dead. It just takes breaks.
Um, I just want to say thank you all for coming and thank you, Bonnie, and your committee for putting it together. Thanks, Dennis. And I think regardless of whoever wins our election, our community is going to be a better place to live.
Yes, I agree. Yes, thank you all for being here. I think as a community, this is probably the best community I've ever lived in my life. I told my wife, I've told other people that there's times that I put in my neighbor's trash next door and across the street. I put in it, and one day I was putting her trash up and I was walking back across and I had to stop and I looked and I said, this is a pinch me moment. I cannot believe that we live in such a beautiful neighborhood that we do. And yeah, my wife takes all the credit for it because she found the house, but and we bought it without me even being here. So yeah, I can't think of a better community to live in. The people are so gracious. They're nice. Little story about the house we bought. The people had bought it before us, never moved in. The lady, she was told that the women here weren't going to like her. They weren't going to like her. They were going to treat her bad. A true story. And so she told her husband, I can't do it. I can't move here. And so we found the house, we moved in, and it turns out that the lady, her brother-in-law and sister-in-law owned the rod and reel shop, and she was telling me about it. And I said, really? And she said, yeah, it was a beautiful white and blue house right on the main road. I said, well, tell your sister thank you. She goes, you bought their house? I said, yes, I did. She goes, how do you like it? I said, the best place on earth to live.
That's right, Becky. Okay, great. Thanks, everybody, for coming. That's it. So get voting form in your packet for the year end, and those will be counted at the year end meeting. So I hope to see the buyout fees are in the packet. And we'll also upload those to the next.